Kash Patel's FBI Bourbon scandal. America, let me ask you something. When you hear FBI director, do you think law enforcement, national security, serious government business? Or do you think custom bourbon bottles, locker room beer chugging, lawsuits, panic calls, and Trump drama? Because according to reporting, Kash Patel's FBI era is starting to look less like law and order, and more like happy hour with a badge. And yes, there are allegedly bourbon bottles with his name on them. You cannot make this stuff up. Get your cups ready.
So here's where it gets wild. The Times reports that Kash Patel, Trump's FBI director, has allegedly been handing out personalized bourbon bottles bearing his name and an FBI-style shield. The report says one bottle had Kash Patel FBI Director on the label, and Patel is already suing The Atlantic for $250 million over earlier reporting about alleged excessive drinking and absences. Now pause right there, because this is the FBI. This is not a fantasy football draft party. This is not somebody's cousin's bachelor weekend in Nashville. This is the top law enforcement office in the country. And somehow the headline is, "Sir, why does the FBI director have branded bourbon?" That is not a press release. That is a Netflix cold open.
Now, to be fair, the FBI did not dispute that Patel gives out bottles. Their response was basically, "This is a long-running tradition, senior officials exchange commemorative items, ethics rules were followed, and Patel pays for personal gifts himself." Okay, so what is Patel doing? But politically, that answer does not erase the optics. Because when the country already has questions about leadership, judgment, and chaos inside federal agencies, a bottle with your name on it does not scream, "steady hand." It screams, "Who approved the merch table? Patel's girlfriend?" And that's the problem. In politics, sometimes the scandal is not only what happened. Sometimes the scandal is what the visual says. And this visual says, FBI, but make it bourbon, fool.
Now let's talk about why this story has teeth. The bigger fight started after The Atlantic published allegations about Patel's conduct, including claims that members of his security detail struggled to wake him because he appeared intoxicated. The article also reportedly described one incident where breaching equipment was requested because he could not be reached behind locked doors. Patel denies the claims and filed a lawsuit saying the events did not occur. That denial matters, but so does the fact that this is now a public legal war. He knows there has to be a report. So instead of the FBI director being in headlines for major investigations, cyber threats, public safety, or national security, he is in headlines over bourbon bottles, alleged drinking concerns, and a lawsuit against a magazine. I mean, Patel got defensive. That is not a distraction. That is a 5-alarm credibility fire on the FBI.
Ever been intoxicated on the job, and that is why we filed a $250 million defamation lawsuit. And any one of you that wants to participate, bring it on. I'll see you in court.
And then there is Trump. Patel was picked by Trump. Patel came out of the MAGA media world. Patel was viewed as loyal, aggressive, and ready to fight Trump's enemies. But here's the problem with loyalty politics. When loyalty becomes the resume, competence becomes the question. The Times article also notes that Patel had already faced criticism for quick public claims during active investigations, including announcing a suspect was in custody in one case before the correct suspect had turned himself in. That matters, because the FBI director cannot operate like a cable news guest chasing the next chyron. This job requires precision. One wrong sentence can mislead the public, damage an investigation, or create chaos before the facts are ready. Breaking news, Patel investigating odors.
So here's the bottom line. The bourbon bottle is not just a bottle. It is a symbol of an administration where branding often comes before governing, a symbol of a political movement where loyalty sometimes outruns experience, a symbol of an FBI director fighting headlines that no FBI director should want. And now the country is left asking, is Kash Patel running the FBI, or starring in the strangest political reality show Washington has ever produced? Because when the FBI director's name is on a bourbon bottle, the public has every right to ask, who is policing the police, and who is watching the bartender? Subscribe, share, comment below.